Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin' Bros, kids. Tuesday afternoon. We got the Jerky King on the show. We got Brendan Cawley on the show. Where you at, Brendan? What part of the world?
Yeah, coming at you out of Westchester, PA, suburb of Philadelphia.
Damn it, dude. Damn it. Do we trust him, D'Anthony?
No, I don't trust anybody.
Me neither, especially out of there. That's Bam Margera's territory, isn't it?
It is. He was born and raised here in Westchester.
God damn, that show was the best, wasn't it? Did you watch it while it was on the air? Were you growing up with it?
Oh, yeah, I was watching it before Jackass even started. Bam had, what they have, the skateboarding videos that I was on.
Oh, yeah, CKY and shit.
Yeah.
CKY, they had the bands going. He had a pretty sick bar here in Westchester for a while called The Note that got pretty rowdy. It was a music venue right in town. But yeah, I was all about it growing up.
And now it's all downhill. One of our pals did a event with him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do Yellow Wolf at my house." A bunch of other people. It poured down rain. Everybody got bogged down. Turns out he didn't have any insurance, permits, anything. The city came and shut it down. And then he just ran away and hid in a trailer.
Well, so what had happened was that they didn't get any permits or anything. They didn't get any it was a huge event.
Correct.
Like thousands of people.
10,000 people.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it was like 2 or 3 is what they expected.
90,000 is what I heard.
I think 2 or 3 is what they expected, and maybe more showed up. But
right.
They didn't have any food or any outdoor toilets or anything like that.
No need.
And people in the area started calling the sheriff's department like, hey, what the fuck's going on here? Apparently he's done this shit before.
Sure.
And people were upset about it. So the police kind of cordoned the area off so nobody could get in or out. And people were kind of stuck there for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah. Jared was stuck there, I think, for 9 hours, he said, before he was able to get out.
Yeah.
Growing up around it, was everybody in the town familiar with what was going on?
Yeah, well, yeah, what you just described there, I feel like I used to hear that like once a summer or something of a party that just went, just got out of control and shut down. He didn't leave. He lived a little bit outside of town, at least back in the day. But yeah, everyone kind of knew what they were about, and he's still he's still a celebrity, and people were still pumped to see him out. I think he still I think he still drives around like an R8. I don't know when the last time we saw it, but yeah, he's pretty well known here. And even though he's causing trouble, I think everyone still likes seeing him. All those guys used to hang out around here, which is pretty cool.
I mean, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he parties.
Just maybe hire somebody to do all the logistics.
Well, look, it's tough when you're on Jackass.
Well, I feel like you could just hire Ja Rule.
Probably. Was he Firefest?
Yeah. Him and that dude that says that he was willing to suck somebody's dick for water.
That's right. Yeah.
Remember that guy, Andy?
Love that guy.
What was his name?
I don't know, but he got a really sweet job, and I know he makes like $175 a year, because they were like, hey, if you're willing to put up with that bullshit and take it all the way to the end, I'd want to hire him as my CEO.
Andy King, that's his name.
Andy King.
No, he would be my operations manager.
Sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like my director of operations. Like, hey, if a guy's willing to go that far to get work done, then you just kind of hand him the keys and leave.
Sucking dick for water gets you the job, dude. Who knew? Now you own Righteous Felon beef jerky. You've been on the show. We tear through this at a rapid rate around here.
That's good.
Yeah. So a couple things for you at the top here. We've had a couple other jerky companies on in the past. However, a lot of them ran out. Is there a beef shortage out there? And how are you guys able to procure so much beef jerky where everybody else can't?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, definitely during COVID, there was a lot of shortages and prices skyrocketed, and a lot of people at that point chose just to stop manufacturing. So that certainly could have been part of it. But yeah, beef prices are up probably 25-30% over where they were 2 years ago. And then the actual capacity of the plants that manufacture it, that's also hasn't kept up with the demand. for high protein snacks and, high protein meat snacks. So that's also created, a shortage, just the price of beef, and then lack of capacity within the industry. And we've been lucky just that we've had some really, we've been around for 9, almost 10 years now, and still have all the same partners as, when we kicked off back in 2013. And luckily, those relationships and long-term kind of partnerships came through when shit was hitting the fan, and we've just been able to keep in stock. It doesn't mean it's easy or that it's cheap, but we've just had to jump through hoops to keep stuff in stock and keep growing through the years.
Yeah, and look, Dan and I own a seltzer company, a hard seltzer company, and we certainly know what happens. We're experiencing it now when you're successful and you start to kind of run out of the product, and then you're using every dime to make sure that it goes back into buying more and more and more, and then try to escalate it across the country. For you guys, this online model where you can ship to your house is easy and it's cheap. And to be honest, it's probably one of the cheapest in the business that we've worked with so far, because the shipping is cheap on something like jerky. Shipping cans in the mail is expensive as shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go through the trials and tribulations of it. And then did you guys have to take funding at some point?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we didn't actually start. We've always kind of had a website, but really didn't pay attention to it until I would say May or June in 2020. So after COVID, really we were selling a ton of brick and mortars around the country. We still do today. And we were really heavily focused in hospitality. So we'd be in mini bars all over the country. We did a ton of professional sports. We do like their full snack sets as they're traveling. And we do a ton of airline, like private airline distribution. And as you can imagine, all those things didn't just slow down during COVID. They went to zero. So we had to adapt pretty quickly at that point and figure out how to get the website humming. And that's really when the online business started. But that was only 2 years ago. But exactly to your point, one of the reasons I liked wanted to get into the business was that from a logistics standpoint, you can't really beat the ratio of cost of shipping versus the cost of revenue in the box, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, you guys definitely have a challenge there with liquids, heavy, probably doesn't have to stay temperature controlled, but we started with beef jerky. We now sell probably over 100 different brands of snacks. And we look really closely at the logistics of kind of each category before we take something on. And liquids is something that we've always just avoided because it's a whole different beast of logistics and distribution. And kind of requires, as I'm sure you guys know, really requires to have some good distribution partners that can get it to that final mile.
Yeah. Yeah, for us, the distribution partners hasn't been the challenge. The challenge is trying to keep up with the demand and then get it state by state, so that way our customers are paying normal price versus shipping through the mail. Now, shipping through the mail is a blast if you have money and you can get a case of seltzer shipped to your house. Now we're just trying to keep up with the demand because most companies are spending a lot of money on marketing, we have marketing in spades because we're on Monday through Friday. Dan and I host multiple shows across the network, and we're able to get the product out everywhere. And that's something that we don't have to worry about as far as an expense is marketing. Got it. Where our expense is just getting enough cans out to the world. And then you sit in all these meetings for, we're in a Series A raise now. And a lot of it is fake business. A lot of people say they know somebody or somebody rich and blah, 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 blah. And it hasn't panned out yet. Right. Is that where you guys are going through? Did you have a raise? Is it all your own money?
Yeah. So great question. We actually, when I started this thing, I had zero ambition of it growing into something. It really just started as like a hobby amongst my friends and I, and never really didn't have a business plan or anything that we were looking to scale out very quickly. So we didn't raise any money aside from like myself, my two brothers and, my 8 best friends, we all kicked in, myself was a couple grand, the other guys were a couple $100, and we really just grew it organically and bootstrapped really for the first 7 years or so. And we're basically operating break even for all those years, put every penny back into the business. But yeah, 2019, we did take on a friend of a friend who is a wealthy dude who made a ton of money in, in fintech, did, something with payments. He was already a fan of the product. When he found out he kind of knew who was making it, he kind of just made us an offer to, put some cash in and help us kind of fund inventory. And, that's been an awesome partnership. You just get some cash in the door, and that kind of springboarded us up into kind of a different level of business. And, we're a much bigger business today. And we actually just wrapped up, I wouldn't call it a Series A, or it's, I don't even know the difference between all those things, but this was just like a, local friends and family angel sort of round where we raised a little bit over $1 million just to, for some projects that we have coming up, and really just to prepare ourselves for, what seems like potential slowdown in the economy, and, just be ready to weather the storm if there is one coming, or, just propel the growth even further. If when those opportunities pop up.
Yeah, because look, a lot of people, and us included here, we're not immune to it. It's at our media company, are trying to plan for this recession, what is going to happen. I will say this, in your case, and then especially ours, with the jerky, people are always going to want jerky to snack on. Yep. I don't think that it'll affect you that much. With booze, it's actually the opposite. So during a recession, people are boozing even harder, and I totally get that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where they're going to be looking for those extra 3 points of ABV you guys got.
Goddamn right, dude. Those 8%, you're going to need them now more than ever, friend, because shit's going to get real depressing out there.
That's right.
So yeah, I think we'll be fine. But now some of these other places, D'Anthony, these higher end luxury places, I think, that's when people start cutting back, where they're like, maybe I can't buy that Lambo,
Yeah, I mean, well, what most people, there's different classes of purchaser, right, in the American economy. People in our group are like Bob, us, homeowners, and what we typically do is spend money on either a new home or home renovations or something like that, which adds to the value of the retail economy in general, right? Mm-hmm. Because usually those spends happen locally, where you're paying local plumbers, local construction people, and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And as we know, 7 to 11 times that for every dollar, 7 to 11 times that much perpetuates itself throughout the local economy. It's really good for the economy when people who are homeowners have expendable income. When they don't, it shrinks the economy, right? And it's there's usually like a 3 to 6 month drag on that, which means even when we come out of the recession, there's another 3 to 6 months of lower spending from our group of people. And then the same can be said for renters like Giorgio, like middle to upper middle class renters like Giorgio and Delco here, where they spend their money on things like upgrading to a new apartment, new vehicle, new electronics, vacation, shit like that. Mm-hmm. And that also helps the broader economy. You know what I mean? So, there's all this trickling down bullshit that's not fun. It's not fun.
No.
For anybody. Like, it affects literally everybody in every part of the economy. That's the hard part. So you got to find, if you're a business owner, now you have to a lot of people pivot during these times. Like my product is something people use expendable income on. So for now, like a lot of companies, actually a lot of distilleries did it, where they started co-producing things like hand sanitizer, right? During the early stages of the pandemic.
COVID, yeah.
Like, it's a smart thing to do to diversify yourself. Like you said, you're dealing on quite a few more snacks than just jerky now. It's a smart thing. It's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, and with your product in particular, the spicing and everything else is so different than any other jerky that I've ever had. It does separate you for the rest of that industry, where you're not having what's the Jack's bullshit that I see all the time in grocery stores?
Jack Links, yeah.
God damn it, it's terrible. I mean, it's awful.
They're the monster. They do. I think they're up over $2 billion in annual sales now. So I mean, they're a very legit company, and still happen to be privately owned, which is pretty rare in this space, as you guys probably know. One thing, I mean, talking about the recession and stuff, I think it's a super interesting time to see how it all plays out, because we just coming off of COVID, where everything was convenience and delivery to your home. I think people got really used to that. And that obviously has that has a big cost to it, whether the consumer bears it or not. Home delivery has a huge cost. So now it'll be interesting to see how people I think they're going to shed that delivery, and then they'll be looking to, how do I purchase things more economically? And I think the answer is the internet. If you can buy in bulk and kind of ship things through like UPS or FedEx or the US Postal Service, rather than like, the GoPuffs and Grubhubs of the world. I feel like that is where I think people will kind of tighten the belt first, is like, hey, do I really need this thing in 5 minutes, or can I get 10 of them tomorrow for $1 cheaper a unit or something like that, and kind of stock a pantry, rather than everything just being impulse buys and deliver, instant delivery.
Yeah, because if you get an Egg McMuffin from Grubhub, you're looking at $43 once that's at your door, and you're just like, man, I could have just driven down the street. There wasn't a line anyways. What happened here? With you guys in particular, is it you that came up with the seasoning, or did you have a chef?
So we do not have a chef. I actually had I don't know how far back you want to go here, but when I started making jerky way before this company started. So I had an uncle in Pittsburgh that worked at the steel mills in Pittsburgh, and he kind of had like a little jerky hustle going on in his basement, where he had a couple, like medium-sized dehydrators, and he would, he'd probably make like 20 or maybe like 100, 200 pounds a week and sell it to his other coworkers. He taught me that one time when I was there, and I just fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. I was probably only 10 or 11 years old at that point. And so my recipe is kind of like an iteration of his. It's not exact, but so I've been making that recipe for, again, since I was like since I was like 10 or 11, and I turned 37 tomorrow. So that base recipe is kind of like our OG hickory. And then, we have 9 other beef jerkies. Right now, they all kind of start with that base blend, and then kind of get differentiated and customized from there for like the specific flavor profile that we're looking for.
We got a question from the audience here. JT is asking if you plan on selling the spice blends that you use, so people at home could use it to make their own jerky, like venison jerky and shit like that. Or are you going to come out with venison and turkey jerky and things like that? I know you have turkey already, but
you got the Fal Capone.
Yeah. Is venison on the menu at all?
Yeah, it's an awesome question. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, just haven't got to it in the pipeline of new products and rebrands and stuff that we've been working on this year. But it's totally an area that I want to explore. I think we can knock it out of the park. I kind of always pictured it. I mean, you guys know what our bags look like. Mm-hmm. I'll hold one up in case, people don't know, but I kind of picture like a box that looks like this, with like, like the Arm & Hammer boxes, like the little yellow baking soda or something.
Yeah. The shaker.
I picture like a Righteous Felon box like that just has the base blend, and you just kind of add soy sauce, add beer, whatever you want to add to it.
I mean, I use stuff like that. I can't remember what company it is. It was kind of an off the beaten path company.
Lowry's?
No.
I'm kidding.
No, it was in the Pacific Northwest somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but they sold a spice blend, and I used it for a prime rib rub. That's primarily what I used it for. It was really good.
Nice.
So it's not just like that. That's another way to pivot, because it's inexpensive to do that, right? Yep. To sell spices. I mean, look, if you're talking about selling a 3 to 5 ounce container of that shit, that's nothing, man. And that's a quick $12 every single purchase. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, and your product is so good. The seasoning on it. I'm a 2-bag guy. Like, I can't have just a bag. Like, it's a 2-bag. I always start with a Marilyn Monroe. That's my go-to. That's my favorite. And then I go to the notorious BIG, that barbecue hickory one. I'm all in on those two. And problem is, again, I'm a 2-bag guy in the middle of the afternoon because they're so good. And I'm like, all right, shit, you gotta order. We use our own promo codes here, no shame. I don't really care. Because I still want the discount, but it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, you gotta use it. I'll get you. We have 8-ounce bags too, at least in OG Hickory, the original. We do that in an 8-ounce bag. So I'll get you some of those. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Marilyn Monroe is probably my favorite right now of the jerkies. I eat more of the biltong now just because I don't know why. I just like it.
I like OG and biltong as well. I love dill. Anything that's got dill. I'll eat like a whole fucking jar of pickles and then smash the fucking jar over somebody's head because I'm mad that there's no more pickles.
Yeah. And then I will say this, though. The last one left, always last in the office here with all the employees, is the Reaper, the Carolina Reaper.
Yeah.
My God, man, I made the mistake of eating it before I went on air, and we're live on like YouTube and all that other stuff.
Yep.
I had tears in my eyes where I was dabbing my eyes for the first 20 minutes of the show, and I was like, holy shit, this is hot.
Yeah, that one's you know what? There's also, well, first off, people are crazy. Like, I'm sure you guys may know this, but sometimes kids we'll be doing an event or something, like a 5-year-old kid will come up and eat the voodoo and just laugh at us and say it's not spicy at all. Then you have like, a big burly dude come through and say he loves spicy shit, and he tries that and he's crying. Yeah. So like spice is such a hard thing to gauge. And you kind of see it when like McDonald's or Burger King or any of those guys do like Angry Whoppers or, anything mainstream. When they say spicy, it's typically pretty soft. We try to, like, and you guys know, like the whole profile, the whole lineup's, leans kind of spicy, but yeah, we really try to give people a good, solid, spicy piece of meat if that's what the bag says. Yeah. And then there's also a little bit of variability, and that pepper is not easy to come by in bulk at the rate that we use it. So there's also some variability from like pepper batch to pepper batch. That happens both with that one and with the habanero.
Yeah, big fans. The Reaper, though, I learned my lesson and I can't go back. I'm sorry. I have a baby mouth, and it just doesn't allow me to eat spicy food like that. So I apologize. The rest of it, delightful, and I tear through it. You said your birthday was tomorrow, by the way?
Yeah.
There's a ton of famous people that have your birthday. Do you know that, right?
I don't know. Who else are we thinking? I don't know any.
Tom Brady?
Never heard of him.
Yeah, never heard of him. Okay.
Oh, he's the guy that lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl a few years ago, I think. Is that the guy?
You just made Delco's life with that. Everybody forgets about that big dick Nick Foles Super Bowl. Everyone. Yeah. It was in Minnesota. It was a weird year. It was -2 outside. No celebrities went. Prince was dead. It was a strange time. And
it was a beautiful night. It was beautiful. We actually had a party at the Righteous Felon HQ that night, and it was pandemonium.
I bet it was.
James Hetfield.
James Hetfield from Metallica. Martin Sheen, same birthday. Martha Stewart, just a little bit better chef than you. Same birthday.
She's kind of a righteous felon.
Yeah, Tony Bennett is on there.
Is he still alive?
Yes, he is, but he has dementia for real.
Good for him.
He did a 60-minute special about it, and crazy thing is, the only thing he remembers is he can sing every word to every song, but he doesn't remember anything else.
They should do like Nicholas Sparks should write the notebook about him, where somebody just reminds him of how much pussy he's slain.
Oh man,
like they're just reading a book about a dude who's just banged every whore of all time.
Yeah,
and it's like, Tony, that's you, bud.
Tony, that's you.
And he's
man.
like,
yes.
Like Napoleon Dynamite style, yes.
And then he's got to relive every single day.
But he does that every day.
Yeah,
that would be the best life of all. That would be better than continuing to do it.
If you had nudes, if you were able to flash the nude and be like, Tony, do you remember Sally from Raleigh, North Carolina? And it was like, oh man, I remember that beef. Yeah. That was a beautiful beef. Yeah. Like then it would be awesome for Tony.
Zach Wilson.
Isaiah Washington, Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder, not the football player. Same birthday.
Ryan Lochte.
Ryan Lochte too.
Do you remember Ryan Lochte faked that fucking robbery?
Oh
in
yeah,
Mexico
down in
Brazil.
Brazil.
Or
It was
whatever the fuck
yeah.
What the fuck? Why does nobody ever bring that up anymore?
Yeah.
That's one of the weirdest things that's ever happened with a celebrity in America.
Well,
To me, that's weirder than like murders or fucking drugs or any of that shit. The dude constructed a crime that never happened.
So here's the weird thing about Olympians. As soon as it's over and they're done and retired, everyone forgets about them. You have Michael Phelps, who still stands out, and then you have probably a Simone Biles. I know he did at the Olympics. But everybody kind of forgets, where they're like, oh yeah, that one guy who did the one thing or whatever.
It was 10 minutes ago.
Too
it's
bad.
Like he got done with the race and then committed.
Too bad.
That was 2018, right?
Yeah.
Or something, or
But
2016
the
maybe?
Lochte thing?
Yeah, Lochte, yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's similar to that other dude. I can't remember the guy who was the other guy that fake got beat up and went to the police and everything. Celebrity.
Jussie Smollett.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's similar to that.
Yeah,
But
very
I
similar.
don't think Ryan Lochte was saying this was a hate crime though.
No, he did it to cover up being shit-faced.
That's it. Yeah,
Because he was like
wasted.
just kicking in doors at a gas station or something. And he was like, I was attacked.
Yeah, he was attacked.
He was attacked by alcohol.
Sure was. Tyrod Taylor also shares your birthday. Wonderful quarterback. That guy still starts today, and it's unbelievable to me. He was the guy that got the punctured lung, remember?
I do not.
Yeah, they were trying to give him a cortisone shot in his rib cage, and they went right through the fucking rib meat, right into the lung.
Yeah. The training staff was the one who punctured his lung, as if that couldn't be any darker. He had a huge settlement, though, so Tyrod's doing fine. He's doing fine. Then there's a bunch of other weird people on here. I don't know how famous you have to be on here. There's somebody named Skin. Bob, can you look up there's a young lady named Skin, if you can put her on screen. I just want to compare the two next to each other side by sidesies and let the audience know that you guys share the same birthday, because that's fun. I don't know what Skin does for a living, but she looks fun.
Let's have a look at her.
Yeah, let's pull up Skin. Do you know who that is, Bobby?
You know, I'm still trying to find her here. There are a lot
She's
of
a musician. So you can type in Skin, the musician. She's 54 years old now, and obviously her birthday is August 3rd. There you go. Sometimes you just got to talk people through things, Brendan, you know? Look at that.
Yeah, takes time.
So put that person on screen, and let's just let the audience know that you guys share the same birthday. Now, I know you can't see this right now, Brendan, but you're going to thank me later for it, because the two of you guys are twins. And I think this is great.
This is a woman?
I believe so.
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, don't know, but looks like a fun one here.
It appears as though there's some surgically implanted medallions or something in this
in her
person's
head. But when you get rich enough, like, look, if Righteous Felon sells out everything in their inventory, promo code Drinkin Bros will get you 20% off at righteousfelon.com. Then he's going to get some jewels in his forehead implanted, because that's what you do.
Already got them picked out.
Perfect. What are you going with, rubies or turquoise?
I was going to go with amethyst, my mother's gemstone, or my mother's birthstone.
So to bring this back, Ryan Lochte spent $25,000 on a platinum and diamond grill after he won his first gold medal.
Yeah.
That's what all their swimmers
I
are
think
doing.
you should fucking have the gold medal melted down and turn that into something.
Oh, I agree.
Like a knife.
Yeah,
and then stab people with it.
Or put that in your mouth. If you're going to get gold teeth, you might as well do it out of a gold medal. And then Will Muschamp is on this list. Is he still coaching? Is Muschamp still out there in the world coaching? It's iffy,
he from
right?
Clemson?
Yeah, it's iffy. He's one of those guys where you're like, dude, is he still hanging around?
No, he was the coach for South Carolina and Florida.
He is currently the co-defensive coordinator and safeties coach for
There you go.
the University of Georgia.
Oh,
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No shit. He did a good job. All of them got drafted in the NFL. What do we know? We're just a bunch of dummies.
Well, that wasn't him.
Oh, it wasn't.
He's now the defense coordinator.
He took over after the guy left.
Yeah, what's his name?
Even better.
Where did their defensive coordinator go?
Oregon.
Yeah, that's right.
Oof. Oh, that's right. He's the head coach there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to take the head coaching job, you know. I'm not going to fault him on that one. I tell you what. While you're still here, how about I do your ad read for you, and then you can correct me if it sucks. All right? Have you heard it?
Oh, you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Oh, yeah, of course I've heard it. I
Okay.
thought you were, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think you guys do a great job. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we're at the point in the show. We got some sponsors that put this shit wagon on the air. First and foremost, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. It's the leader and top-ranked brand in all-natural, high-protein craft beef jerky featuring U.S.-sourced Black Angus beef, clean ingredients, and infamous one-of-a-kind flavor profiles like habanero, Escobar, Marilyn Monroe, Truffalo Bill. Truffalo Bill is my twosies, by the way. I lied to you earlier. Darth Garlic, and then the old Fal Capone in case you need some turkey jerky in your life. Righteous Felon is handmade in the USA, fresh from the smokehouse using steakhouse quality meats from American farmers with over 15 recipes. There's a flavor for everyone, for every high protein, low sugar diet, including some keto friendly recipes. This year, get that special someone in your life a subscription box. I got it from my dad. It was only $70 and it was like 80 pounds of meat, I feel like. He's still chewing on it. He's still sitting in the corner of his house chewing on it right now. Get 15% off with the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout and head on over to righteousfelon.com or use the link in the episode. Brendan, we appreciate you being here. From time to time, we're trying to have CEOs from companies that we love and respect on the show to get their opinion on things and how to run a business. Obviously, the seltzer is new for us. You've been in the jerky business for about 10 years now. Now's the point of the show because we got some breaking news that we got to cover here in a second with this Pelosi thing in Taiwan. Shit's getting crazy. They're doing drills. They're lighting bombs off in the air. Give us the Drinkin' Bro of the week. We've never done it mid-show. We've also never been threatened to be bombed by China mid-show. So fire away. Who would you like to give the Drinkin' Bro of the week to? Someone who's inspired you or helped you become the person you are today.
Oh, Drinkin' Bro of the week. I'm gonna give it to I'll give it to Colin, my partner, who actually hooked us up together. He's the guy that was working with, I think, Andrew, who's on your team.
Yeah, Andrew Ball.
Hooked this whole thing up, convinced us to give it a shot. We've never done any podcast advertising before, but wanted to dip our toe in the water, and this seemed like an awesome opportunity. It turned out to be so. So yeah, I'm super pumped to be here, and my Drinkin' Bro of the week goes out to Colin.
Hell yeah. Cheers. And we greatly appreciate it. I'm sure you see the orders come through for our company. I don't know, what are we ordering? 50 bags a month here? And it's still not enough.
Yeah, you guys are plowing through it. And the audience too. I mean, we've done it's been an awesome partnership. We've gotten a ton of new folks from your fans of you guys that have come to the site and given it a whirl. A couple of reorders already. So it's we're super pumped with the partnership and I want to keep it going.
Awesome. Go to righteousfelon.com, promo code Drinkin' Bros for 15% off. Brendan, thank you for being on the show today. Have a great day, buddy.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much, guys.
Perfect. We'll chat soon. In the meantime, I'm going to finish up the rest of the sponsors before we get into what is going on in China right now. D'Anthony, I don't know what these drills are, and I'll ask you about what's happening over there. Super unusual, obviously, in the middle of the afternoon. Ghostbed.com is our title sponsor. /Drinkin' Bros at ghostbed.com. Best in the biz as far as mattresses go, sheets, pillows, adjustable bases, you name it, they got it at ghostbed.com /Drinkin' Bros. They've also got 40% off the bundle package, which is the adjustable base and the mattress combined together for one magical night of boning. Go to ghostbed.com /Drinkin' Bros. Today, where, as always, you can get a 60-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest if you have decent credits. So all the deals that I just mentioned, if you want 30% off, promo code Drinkin' Bros at checkout, fill the card all the way to the top. 40% off that bundle package, you're fine. Check the box. All those deals will apply to the 60-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest there. You can walk out of there with a brand new bedroom set for about $25 a month. Go to ghostbed.com /Drinkin' Bros today. Last but not least on the old episode today, we've got Babbel. Learn a new language. Maybe it's Mandarin.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Maybe check out Mandarin.
Maybe check out Mandarin here. Not sure what's happening with old girl, but we'll get to it in a second. In the meantime, if you're out there trying to learn a new language, now that all the countries have opened it up, and you're traveling, go to Babbel. It's a language for life. Super easy, dude. Babbel's one of the best in the biz as far as learning a new language. It's not like the other garbage apps out there. I can promise you that. Babbel has made it super simple to learn a new language, and they'll give you phrases that you can actually use. So it's not like they're going to go tell you how to fix your uncle's garage door. They're not going to tell you anything like that. It's like, hey, how do I get a cab? How do I pay for food, clothing, hotel tips, things like that. They're not going to go in detail about your uncle's garage door opener. Nothing like that. Right now, you save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/drinkinbros. That is babbel.com/drinkinbros for up to 60% off your subscription. The beauty of them, too, is it's not just the lessons. They also have podcasts. They have games that you can play. They got over 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. And they use a speech recognition technology that helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. There's so many ways to learn at Babbel that in addition to lessons, again, you got the video games, you got the stories, live classes, and it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/drinkinbros. That is BABBEL.com/drinkinbros for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, a language for life. D'Anthony, bombs are going off in the sky. There's a bunch of military drills going on. Is it over Taiwan? Is it in China? Or is it off into the ocean? What is that's going on in the background here? I'm looking at the videos coming in.
Well, I'm not looking at
strange.
whatever video you're looking at, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, so I know there's 4 separate sets of military drills going on.
Yeah, so the military drills are targeted military actions, and that's what they're claiming these are. Now, sirens have gone off in Taiwan right now that are apparently alerting war or something like that. I don't think she would be on the ground right now. She is on the ground. She did make it. I know we talked about this yesterday. She actually did go. She's on the ground. The weirder part, too, was earlier in the day this morning, they were actually tracking her flight like she was Santa. So they knew the exact minute she was going to step foot in Taiwan. If they wanted her blown out of the sky, they certainly could have done it.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that. I mean, so think about the last 12 months, year or so, right? So before we were, like when we announced that we were definitely, they also did the same thing around Ukraine leading up to that conflict. They invaded Ukraine, didn't invade Afghanistan because, the circumstances were different. This is diplomacy. This is how it works. It's like, it's kind of like chess where one country does something they consider to be diplomatic. The other country, the adversary country does, they try to flex military power of some sort, you know what I mean, do drills or whatever other stupid shit. And then you respond if they go too far with it, right? I mean, it's like if you're walking, just imagine you're in a bar somewhere and you're walking around and a guy bumps into you or you bump into him and the guy's like, fuck man, what the hell? And you're like, my bad.
Yeah.
That's the end of it typically, right? But if you continue to escalate back and forth, what I'm saying is when you do something like this, like what the U.S. has done, you expect there to be some retort, for lack of a better phrase, to that. It's like a cat and mouse game to see who can outmaneuver the other person. It's not always like a military response. Sometimes, you use your intelligence community to find out that they're going to do something and you expose it ahead of time to make them look dumb. So they're like, all right, cool, now we can't really do anything. But they knew we would have done that. You know what I mean?
So to your point, right now they're saying the Taiwan Presidential Office website was hit by a cyber attack.
That was Taipei, I believe, not Taiwan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
MSN is reporting Taiwan's presidential office went dark.
It's their capital is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, it's like I don't know exactly what that means, but China, if you believe the reports that the NSA puts out, China tries to hack us like 3,000 times a day or something like that. It's like not a day, it's a month. It's like 3,500 times a month, I think, are individual hacking attempts towards either U.S. Intelligence community or U.S. Intellectual property, one of the two. But yeah, it's kind of how it goes. But it's like, right now, so think of it this way. You want to do something. You want to go take over an area, or you want to get the upper hand on somebody. You do it from a position of strength typically. And China and Russia are in a position of strength right now, not necessarily through their own work, but because we're so weak at the moment. So when your leadership is weak like ours is right now, it doesn't typically work out very well for you. Like, you can't bluff when your president doesn't know where the fuck he is half the time.
Yeah.
And we've done this shit before pretty recently. So what people forget about the Ukraine invasion is that Trump was sending them tons of weapons, and Biden cut that off when he got into office. So all this fucking victory lap shit he's trying to take, and how we support Ukraine, fuck Russia, they're the ones that created the scenario in the first place. Mm-hmm. Just like fucking Obama created the Crimea thing. You know what I mean? And if you're Taiwan, I mean, this is really bizarre to me. If you're Taiwan, if you're the government in Taiwan, why the fuck would you trust the United States? Like, why?
I don't know. I think because they don't have any other choice. And that's
Sure they do. Keep your fucking mouth shut until there's a strong president in the U.S. again. That's pretty easy to do.
But do they have time? Because I go back to what you said the other day, and I think the same thing. Because we have a weak leader in office, now's the time. Like, if you're Russia, take over Ukraine. You got a weak leader who's not going to do anything in the United States. If you're China, take over Taiwan if you really want Taiwan. Now's the time to do it before you get a real son of a bitch in there. Because Trump, would immediately threaten a trade war and say, fuck all you guys. Whereas now, I don't know where homeboy is. He's had, COVID twice in the last 4 days. I haven't heard him or seen him. And then you're sending Pelosi over to Taiwan, which doesn't make any sense. I know a bunch of our listeners yesterday were saying this feels like some sort of red flag or red herring or something.
Well, I don't know about all that. I think it's just incompetence. So it's like when you're in a position of strength and you don't necessarily want to seem like the provocateur, you bait somebody into trying to attack you first, right? It's what Augustus or Octavian at the time did to Mark Antony to finally end the second triumvirate in Rome. You behave in a way that is uncouth but not necessarily illegal or breaking laws in order to get the other side to try to come after you. So one of the things that you'll learn in de-escalation training when you're doing like security work or stuff like that, if you're doing police work, is that it is a sign of weakness to respond to every single agitation. Like if the crowd is yelling at you and you're trying to respond to each one of them, you've now lost that battle. And it's very clear what China's trying to do. They're in a position of strength right now, and they want to bait us into a confrontation about this. And sending Pelosi over there, we were baited into this. And now we're going to be exposed by it, right? So we did it to think about the recent history here. This incursion into Ukraine by Russia wouldn't have happened if, one, we didn't allow NATO to continue to push east, but that's a whole other conversation. But if we had just continued sending weapons to Ukraine like we were before, when Trump was in office, this shit also would not have happened, right? We did it to the Afghans, Afghanis rather. We left them there to fucking suffer under the Taliban, and now, if you believe these reports, which I'm not sure I do, Zawahiri just got killed in a drone strike on Saturday. He was the new leader of Al Qaeda. Mm-hmm. So,
and you don't believe those, you said?
I mean, there's been reports for the last two or 3 years that he was killed.
Right.
And that's, to be honest, I believe that.
That he's been killed in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I haven't seen any new evidence to suggest. I mean, I'm glad if he's dead. I'm glad, but I think he's been dead for a while, to be honest. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that everything that everybody said from our side happened. So all the Afghanis who were ever loyal to the Americans got murdered, and now it is a fucking terrorist breeding ground again. We did it to the Kurds in Desert Storm and Desert Shield. We told them, like George H.W. Bush said, hey, you guys go fuck with Saddam, we'll have your back. Well, guess what? We fucking left and didn't do shit. We did it again to the Kurds in the middle 2010s when we pulled out of Iraq again. why would any partner country, especially one that's under the thumb of somebody like the Taliban or China or whatever, or Russia, why would they fucking trust us? Like, we have no credibility militarily or in the intelligence community or as support for, as a country on the international stage right now. Taiwan's out of their fucking mind to be trusting us, right? They're digging themselves into a very, very precarious situation right now. Like, seriously, they may be fucked.
Yeah, because if China does decide to take over Taiwan, we're not going to stop it, right?
No, I don't think we're capable of stopping it, frankly, because of the proximity. Like, the supply line that it would take for us to fight that kind of battle right now against China, we're not set up for that at all.
No.
You know, and to be honest, from an ethical standpoint, think of it this way: you're a big, powerful person, and you tell some runt to go start a fight with somebody so you can beat their ass. Like, that's not the best thing to do, but, you know, not the worst thing either. Sometimes it happens. You do it with your own military unit. Sometimes you send out a scout or a recon by fire element and then, you know, flank afterwards. That's not what this is. We're sending these people out the same way we did with the Kurds to go fight a fucking war, basically, or get drawn into some conflict, whether it's a war or some kind of just authoritarian military police action on Taiwan. And we know for a fucking fact that we are not prepared to interdict that. So every fucking Taiwanese person that dies because of this is on us.
Yeah.
And it's fucking pathetic. And it's all about, like, it's the same shit that's going on with the recession, where they won't admit that that's happening, all the free money that was given out. And it's the same thing that's happening with the mass lockdown, vaccine bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Like, these leaders, quote unquote, which they're clearly not leaders, continue to fuck up so badly, but operate from a position of we're right, so everything has to be redefined to fit that narrative that we're correct. So they get so deep into this shit that they can't admit when they're fucking wrong, cut bait, and fix the problem. So we just pile on and double down and fucking it's so stupid.
No.
This is why I tell you not to trust fucking governments, not to trust people in politics, military leaders, any of that shit. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. And that's the end of the fucking conversation. And if you don't fucking align yourself with principles in that way, then you're constantly, like I said yesterday, you're constantly going to be stuck making excuses from these people, obfuscating the truth, and you'll never solve anything. And you just only make the problem worse. And the really fucked up part about it is Americans aren't going to die.
Right.
It's fucking Taiwanese people are going to die. It's Afghanis who are going to die and shit like that. And we're just fucking here like, oh, oops.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, the oddities of this. We'll start with the first one here. First of all, she landed at 11 p.m. Why land that late at night? If you're trying to make a scene, whenever you come off a plane, and I know this from the Trump rallies, right? He would always land in the middle of the day, so it was a huge entrance and all that other shit. The footage is pretty grainy and dark. It's obviously Taiwan at 11 p.m. at night. That's strange. There was 2 Chinese fighter jets that were flying, I guess, next to the plane itself, just to say, hey, what's up? We're here. That also seems dangerous. If you were fucking Pelosi on that plane, why would you want to be on that plane? Don't really understand that.
Well, she's got 2 bombs of her own.
Yeah, she does. She got them heavies, dude. Pelosi's got those heavies, dude.
Yeah, I mean, from her perspective, it's, you know, people get into that ivory tower and think they're fucking untouchable.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm thinking looking at this footage right now. I mean, it's pretty wild. On the other side of this, for the Democrats, you're dealing with a Zelensky situation where now Nancy Pelosi looks like this brave 81-year-old woman who flew into Taiwan and fought the Chinese forces and said, I'm going to do it. I don't know what she's doing over there because that's still not clear. But they're going
She's
to praise her for
facilitating
this.
legacy. She's not going to be Speaker of the House for much longer, so she wanted to go do something. She's always had like an affinity for like going places and needing huge military clearance and meeting the Pope. Like this is just like what she does to feel important. She's the highest ranking official to go there in 25 years, I think, since Newt Gingrich. And yeah, the 2 planes from Taiwan were just like escorts for her, and which just cost even more and more money.
Yeah. Chinese officials threaten retaliatory actions if she made the stop. They seem to have followed through when the fighter jets were crossing the Taiwan Strait, which is what I was talking about earlier. It appears so far as if nothing has happened. Thank God, because I'm with you. Like you said yesterday, if she got fucking blown up, we'd be in war tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I to be honest, it may be like we're getting close to, in my opinion, it being worthwhile to have active military conflicts with China. I don't know what it looks like, to be honest, but
You think we're in a Thucydidean trap?
yeah, maybe. I think we may be, because it's like what they do is publicly rehabilitate their image enough that we allow them to do. When I say we, I mean just the international community in general allows them to do business internationally, right? Like a lot of it, and they've infiltrated every major Western market that exists because they have a lot of money, purchasing power. Like their economy is still a bit of a hybrid, but it's on the way up. And because of sheer numbers on a sliding scale, it's commensurate with our own in a lot of ways. Companies like Tesla have rooted themselves in China. Like Elon Musk is one
They've
of
done
China.
very well there, yes.
It's one of China's. He's one of China's biggest apologists. The NBA, a lot of corporations in general, Hollywood is all in China. So people have made these deals with the devil, the literal devil. And now we're to a point where we either accept that and accept the fact that they have 1,400 active concentration camps of Uyghur Muslims, and they're just murdering people wholesale whenever they feel like it, and allow them to continue doing business, or we can eject them from all of our business, like reclaim any fucking Chinese-owned property in the United States, which we should do, absolutely. We should kick them entirely out of our country. Any business they're invested in, gone, right? Like they forfeit all their stock in that.
And they've done it in China. China has done that to American businesses all the time over there.
Yeah, so it's like we've positioned ourselves because we wanted to suck that Chinese tit and get some of that money and reach into those markets. We've made, like I said, deals with the devil. That's why I'm so anti-LIV. I think dealing with Saudi Arabia is the same thing. It'll eventually come down to we either allow them to capture our entire culture, right? Like we will be second fiddle to them, and it'll be them trying to convince us to be more authoritarian instead of us trying to convince them to be less authoritarian. And eventually we'll have to fight.
Yeah.
It's just how it is, right? So I think maybe we should look at that in the next couple of years. Once we have like a stronger leadership group in power, we should probably go after China, I think.
We'll see what happens. One of her statements here before she touched down was, "We must stand by Taiwan." I want to ask you why.
What's that?
Why do we have to stand by Taiwan?
We have a literal contractual agreement.
Well, okay, we do?
With Taiwan, yeah. We don't with Hong Kong, but we do with Taiwan.
Okay. And what is that? If there is a conflict or a war escalates, that it is mandatory that we hop in there?
It's the Sino-American Mutual Defense Treaty. It was signed in that one expired in 79. But what is the name of the new one? Because they redid it. It's a Taiwan Relations Act, right?
Okay.
It was the old one, but what's the new one? Or is that what the new one's called?
Is that what the new one's called?
I can't remember what it's called. I didn't expect to have this conversation right now, but I think it is. Let's see.
Well, I'll be honest. The reason why we are having this conversation,
this is the new one. The new one is the Taiwan Relations Act.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why we are having this conversation is I didn't think this would go down, to be honest with you. It was still kind of hit and miss at the last second.
No, this is exactly what you should expect to happen. This is a weak move by the United States.
At 11 o'clock at night?
That's not the time of day. There's no import to that. That's just how the schedule worked out.
For who though?
She was already doing. We discussed this yesterday. She was already doing an Asian tour.
Sure.
Right. This was one that was added and it had to be slipped into the schedule somewhere. So that's what it is. But yeah, this is how you should expect a weak person to act. Like, if it would be much more effective for the United States to conduct naval drills in the South China Sea than to send Nancy Pelosi over there.
Right.
Frankly, right? Because you're saying it without saying it. But if you send over a diplomat, then they have to say things out loud, which now you give the Chinese government fuel of whatever type to create propaganda from that.
Correct.
Right? And say, oh, the U.S. is over here threatening us. If it's warships doing fucking shit over there, and we're activating our Trident nuclear subs and things like that, then it's like we can say, no, we're just doing drills because stuff's getting weird over there, but we have no intent to do anything. That's what a strong leadership group would do. A weak leadership group responds to every single thing, and that's what we've done here.
What's interesting here, and again, because this is all of this is happening right now, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell said he backed Pelosi's visit as a display of support for Taiwan's democracy and said any allegations that her itinerary was provocative are utterly absurd. I believe she has every right to go, which is odd seeing the two parties come together on this.
I mean, I agree with that. And well, look, there's not two parties. Let's be clear about that. There's literally no difference between Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi, and you should believe that and stop pretending like they're different people. But they are right insofar as China shouldn't get to dictate who does and doesn't go there. So I'm fine. Like it's not a big deal that she's going there, but it's the way that it happened. Like put it on the schedule and say, look, we're not going over there to try to start shit. We're going over there to talk to an ally of ours. If you've got a problem with it, then that's your fucking problem. And at the same time, you conduct military drills. That's fine, right? But the way we did it, trying to like hush and all this weak bullshit, like it doesn't work, man. China and Russia and all of the Middle East, this is something that we still haven't fucking learned. And it's the reason why we're losing all of these battles, by the way. They respond to fucking machismo. You know what I mean? They respond to fucking male-led interdiction of events like that. And that's why the back and forth, it's like a playground fight. That's what this is. It may seem silly or fucking reductive to you, but that is exactly what it is, and that's how it has to be played. Like if you show up to play a game and you play by your own rules that you made up because you think that there's 1,000 fucking genders or whatever the fuck is on your mind, then you're going to lose the fucking game, man.
Yeah.
It's not about what's right. It's about what is. You know what I mean? This is odd, I guess, kind of debate that the United States and the West in general has been having over the last like 25 years. Like, oh, things ought to be this way, so we're going to pretend like they are. Okay, cool, man. You live in fucking fantasy land and see what happens. China buys up all your shit and Russia invades multiple countries over a fucking decade period. That's what happens.
Yeah. And then something I want to be clear about yesterday, I made a mistake of, I said, why didn't Blinken go? Because he's the Secretary of State, and usually the Secretary of State goes on these things. Apparently, the last time an official visit to Taiwan for a high-ranking elected American official was actually Speaker Newt Gingrich in 1997, and I did not know that, actually. I don't know why the fuck he went either, though, to be honest with you. That's very, very strange to me. Either way, I think she's probably out of there in an hour or two? This isn't going to be a 3-day vacay, right?
No, she's probably already gone, if I had to guess.
You think so?
Gone, if I had to guess.
You think so? Yeah.
My guess would be he went in 97 because that's when Hong Kong was given back to China.
The Kongers, what they call it. Bob.
Yeah, so that was probably Hong Kong, you were allowed to have them. That was in the contract, but you don't get this one.
So
Okay, gotcha.
the Taiwan Relations Act, which is the current law or the current treaty we have with them, doesn't guarantee the U.S. will intervene militarily, but it does require the United States to have a policy to provide Taiwan with arms and of a defensive character and to maintain the capacity of the United States to resist any resort to force or other forms of coercion that would jeopardize the security or the social or economic system of the people of Taiwan. I mean, I assume it was written that way on purpose so we could get out of it if we wanted to, but it's going to look pretty bad if we do.
Okay.
So the PRC, the People's Republic of China, they have it's called the One China policy. It's why they got Hong Kong back. They want all that shit to be back under Chinese control. And maybe they should, you know what I mean? Like if they were just trying to do that, in my opinion, wouldn't be any of our business. But the fact that they're buying up tens of thousands of acres of farmland in the United States, the fact that they're heavily invested in real estate in the United States, means that we should kick them the fuck out. And if they got a problem with that, we should fucking probably look to fight in some way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, look, if you're fine with just letting China take over everything, then just say that out loud. Otherwise, pick yourself up by your fucking beanbag and do something. Don't send some 82-year-old bitch over there that doesn't know fuck all about anything, right?
It'll be interesting to see what her statements are when she lands back here. Obviously, Democrats will applaud this move and treat her like a hero. We'll see what happens when she gets back, and we'll see what the response is from China, if there is one. A lot of DMs today for you about this, and I said I would ask you on the show. Everybody wants to know, including High and Angry in the chat. Here's another one. Can we talk about the PACT Act? A lot of people want your thoughts specifically on this. This was a bill about the funding for burn pits. Obviously, Jon Stewart has been very, very vocal about it. Ted Cruz fired back and said, hey, it's not that we are voting against this. There is an extra $400 million or $400 billion inside the act that is for something totally unrelated to this. I don't know enough about it. I watched part of his special on Apple, and I'll say special because it didn't really seem like a podcast or something. It was kind of a 1-hour drama. Is Jesse back there? I think it might have been serialized. I watched it with her. But with that, his first episode was about this very thing, and he had a bunch of veterans on, and it was specifically about burn pits and the damage that it has caused to veterans. And this act was for that. But Ted Cruz and those guys are saying that they slipped in an extra $400 for something else. What are your thoughts on this bill and what's going on in the media and as far as the vote is going right now?
Oh, hold on. I got to pull something up here. I mean,
Sure.
Honestly, I don't know what's all in this bill. Like any other bill that goes through Washington, I assume it's a piece of shit. We've gotten, to me, it's kind of like we've retreated to this idea that, you know, it's going to be fucked up, so we may as well get the least fucked up, or let's get ours. Mm-hmm. You know, everything's fucked up, so I don't care if there's pork in it or whatever. Let's get ours. And I've seen a bunch of people post that. Improving things, as I like to say, and Citizen, it begins with you. And just because everybody else is taking advantage of the system and you think it's okay to do that as well, that's not the solution here.
Here, Ted Cruz posted a video explaining it.
Oh, he did?
I mean, I don't know if I can handle this.
Play the video. Let's see what he has to say. Go ahead. Fire it up.
John, you're a funny guy, and I appreciate your engaging on issues of public policy. That's a good thing. But if you're going to do so, the facts matter. Listen, when it concerns the PACT Act, I support the PACT Act. I voted for the PACT Act, and I've advocated for it for a long time. We have an obligation to take care of our veterans, particularly those who were wounded or injured from burn pits or in other ways from combat. The issue here is the Democrats included in this bill an accounting gimmick, where they took $400 billion of spending, discretionary spending, they shifted it to mandatory spending. Didn't change the amount at all. But the reason they did that is it created a hole for $400 billion in new discretionary spending. Their objective, they want to cram $400 billion in unrelated spending onto this bill that has nothing to do with veterans. Now, given inflation that is skyrocketing this country, I think another $400 billion in spending is irresponsible. We made very clear to the Democrats, to Chuck Schumer, that if they passed Pat Toomey's amendment and they just shifted the spending back to discretionary, kept it exactly at the same level, but got rid of the hole for the unrelated pork, that this bill would have passed last week with an overwhelming margin. The Democrats decided not to. They wanted to play politics instead. Let me be clear. I support every single penny of the $679 billion of funding for veterans health care. And I'll say this also, John. If you actually want to see this bill pass, if you're not just playing partisan politics, it may not be the best idea just to scream expletives at people who support the bill that you want to see passed. There's a very easy way to get it passed, which is for the Democrats to stop playing budgetary games, stop trying to fill the bill with pork and exploit veterans, and instead focus on veterans' health where this bill should be focused.
All right, you can chop out of that. So performance-wise, as a director, God damn it, man. just come off a little bit more natural. That's all I'm asking in that. Now, he probably does have a point with the $400 billion. We see this happen all the time with bills, where there's a million other things fucking shuttled in there. And I think that's what the problem was with the Build Back Better thing for Manchin and those guys, is that there was all this other shit cooked in there for the Green New Deal and everything else that they were like, hey, can you get that out of there? And then we'll vote for it. Now, with this video, I will say this, with a simplistic message like that, it's pretty clear cut if that's what's really going on, right?
Yeah, and I've had some buds, 107 Foundation. They do a lot of military veteran charity stuff, and they did an examination of it's a 150-page bill, and it's like that's what we do now. We name the bill the bipartisan whatever act of whatever, right? But it's
sure
like bipartisan is an adjective. You don't put that in the fucking name of the bill,
right?
Like that's something that's an adjective applied if it is indeed bipartisan.
It's also something you put in the bill if it's going to fail, and then you can say, hey guys, we all agreed to this, now you fucked us.
Yeah.
This particular political party fucked us.
Well, these guys did an examination of not just the bill but the authors of the bill, and confirmed that not one medical professional or subject matter expert on the VA process was included in the writing of the bill. Not one, right? It was all about money the whole time. So they did a review. They actually requested for cancer screening and early identification to be included in it. Mm-hmm. That was rejected. They requested that secondary prevention and things like that, like therapeutics and things like that, be included. No, it was just about benefits on the back end, right? Like, well, you got cancer now, here's money, but nothing to actually prevent anything. It doesn't save anybody's lives. All it does is pay people who are dying, which, right. People should be compensated if the conditions fuck them up. There's no question about that. But this, the narrative that it saves lives is untrue. Like, so, and here's how you know that that's the case. So in the 150-page bill, they control F'd a few things. Compensation is mentioned 20 times. Benefit, 39 times. Presumptive, which means that there's no actual screening for anything, 60 times. Screening was mentioned only 10 times. And prevention, not one fucking time, right? So if you're talking about saving lives, the only things in any of this in the medical community that can prevent or save lives is prevention and screening, right? Screening leading to prevention,
right?
They're not mentioned. So, it's even more complex than what fucking Ted Cruz. I don't even like saying his name. It's more complex than even he's making it out. Sure, there's a lot of pork in here, and I don't think even for an issue like this that we should engage in just giving money back, giving money to the government. Mm-hmm. That's your money. And I'll say this, like I have fucked up lungs. You can hear it every time I cough because of this same bullshit. And there's a lot of people a lot worse than me. But we're no more entitled to money from the government, which is actually money from other people, than other people who have fucking cancers or whatever the fuck. People who can't afford to pay their bills or buy their medicine or buy food for themselves because the economy's all fucked up. And, I want to take care of veterans as much as anybody else, but not at the expense of the entire country. You know what I mean? That's not a very veteran attitude to have, to be honest, and trying to leverage the idea of veterans as somebody we should hold up in high esteem, which is correct, to fuck over the country. Do you see what's happening there? How the fucking weird it's the veteran community they're children of a divorced nation, right? And every time it's always two Christmases with these motherfuckers. Like the Republicans want to take credit for this and the Democrats want to take credit for this. And now it's even devolved into the Republicans want to blame Democrats for this and the Republicans want to blame, or Democrats want to blame Republicans for this. So the veteran themselves is the child stuck in the middle where people are arguing over these pittances, right? And not doing anything to actually help anybody. And then you have this fucking piece of shit, Jon Stewart, who, by the way, well, the problem about white people, shut the fuck up, John. Like, I appreciate what you've done it before, but this bullshit, like trying to pretend like this is a simple issue that you happen to be on the right side of, one, it's not true. And two, using your platform, you're fucking it up worse. You're making it worse. Shut your fucking mouth, right? And realize what's happening here. These are two sides playing against each other, and it's typical. Unfortunately, it's typical. This is kind of how it goes.
So what would be the correct outcome in your eyes then for something like this?
The complete dissolution of the federal government would be the correct outcome, honestly.
And do you wish a bill like this does not pass?
No, I would not pass this bill. And the bill that I read, no, I wouldn't pass that. Even with what Cruz said, like, they just want to spend your money to pretend like they've done something, but they actually haven't done anything. So think about this. When your pipes burst last February and the insurance company comes in and says, well, what we're going to do is we're not going to really fuck with the pipes that much or get them ready for next year, but we're going to put in a bunch of gold couches and shit and a big projector TV. And then you're like, fucking, no, we're not doing that. And everybody's like, oh, fuck, what do you don't fucking want to improve the house? You're anti-house. You don't care about houses? Like, no, dude, what you're saying is fucking stupid. And it doesn't actually address the fucking problem. You know what I mean? God damn it, man. This is really fucking simple. If you remove all the names and political parties and just look at the information on paper, it is very clear what's going on, right? The left is trying to get more money for themselves. And by the way, in that house analogy, the money isn't coming from you. It's not you spending your own money. It is a pool of money, right? And the more you spend, the more expensive it gets for everybody else.
Yeah. A lot of people asked, and I thought I'd get your take on it. So there you are, and you're welcome for it. By the way, Jon Stewart, if he'd like to come on the program and have a debate about it, I think that would be fun and spirited.
Yeah, he should do it in person, though, because if he wants to yell profanity like that at somebody, he needs to do it in person, because I'll beat his fucking ass.
I saw the clip. What did he say? Who is he screaming "fuck you" at on the video? Was it Ted Cruz, or was it just the Republicans in general?
To find it real quick. I actually didn't catch that one. I saw.
I caught it, but I was at the gym and it clicked over to Bluetooth or whatever the fuck it was. So.
Okay, Jack Prosebiec.
Okay.
Yeah, he's saying shut the fuck up and listen. I don't.
You can play the video. Do you have it?
It's somewhere here. I think this might be it. There's a shitty webpage.
No, not that. That's somebody else's YouTube channel. Just type in Jon Stewart speech. There you go. Bobby's feeling the pressure today. I like it, dude. I like it.
Do you want to meet with them?
Let him talk. Let him talk.
All you want to do is
let him talk.
What the PACT
We already went there. He said no. He does not want to meet with us.
All of these families.
He does not want to meet with us.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I don't care about any of these people.
Who is the guy he's yelling out there?
Jack Prosebiec. He's like a conservative. I don't know.
I've seen his name on Twitter. It's one of those names, him and that Cernovich guy. They always pop up for some reason, but I don't really know what they do for a living.
What they do is attack other conservatives, typically. That's mostly what I see them do.
Okay.
Which is,
Yeah. I mean, look, you got to gain a following somehow. What's his numbers there?
Got 1.8 million followers.
It's crazy, right? You can just sit on Twitter all fucking day and tweet at other people and then become a name from that.
Yeah, I mean, you get you get your cameraman out with you. You yell at the right person, and it goes viral. And then everyone's like, "I like this guy.
Yeah,
this guy's fighting for what I'm fighting for."
The Brooklyn Dad.
It's literally the exact same thing. Yeah, that guy called Ted Cruz a cunt on Twitter. That's my kind.
That's my kind of jerk off.
Well, there are people like there's this one woman on Twitter, and it's her, like, in her bio it says blocked by Chachi, which is like Chachi from Life. Or from
Scott Baio?
Yeah, Charles and Charles. Like,
damn, dude,
he's
Beowulf.
He's a big conservative on Twitter. Like, he does a lot of. It's like him and Sorbo and a couple other people.
Yeah.
And she's like, but this is a regular thing, like blocked by Trump.
Yeah.
Or blocked by fucking somebody on the left if you're a Republican or whatever the fuck. It's fucking stupid, man. None of this shit actually does anything. By the way, this is all for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if somebody does something to somebody and instead of helping the person deal with the issue, you want to go attack the person that did it. That's your first instinct. That's for you. That's because you're angry, you feel rage, and you want to go release that rage onto somebody. instead of actually solving the problem, which is what you're seeing right here. It's all about optics and theater, and nobody actually gives a fuck about the veteran, because if they did, none of this shit would have happened in the fucking first place. All these pieces of shit that are on stage talking about, we got to do this for veterans. You're the one that voted for the fucking Iraq war, motherfucker. Yeah. You're the one that voted for the Afghan war. You're the one that kept it going. You're the one, when we asked you for help with mental health, you told us to go fuck ourselves. So fuck every single one of you assholes.
Well said. Well said. Now's the point in the show we get to the Drinkin' Bro of the week. We actually just talked about this yesterday, which is hilarious. We talked about writing books, what you should do. We get these messages all the time. No lie, I think an hour after the show ended, I was sitting here with Delco, and I was like, we just got another message. This is Anthony Griffith, and he was writing for his wife. So I'm going to give you the Drinkin' Bro of the week.
Do you think that's a pseudonym? Is it actually Andy Griffith?
I hope so. I really hope it's Andy
Or is
Griffith.
Is he a relative of Andy Griffith?
Or it's the real Andy Griffith, and he's brought back to life.
Could be, yeah.
Could be his hologram. He says, I'm a real person who's been following your podcast for about 3 years. Great show. You guys have come a long way. I'm a veteran and I need some advice. My wife is trying to write a small children's book and possibly a series about a little monster that would go through different scenarios that a child would go through growing up. She's been telling my oldest son the stories for 7 years, and now to my 7-month-old. We truly want to write this book, but don't know where to start. I'm not asking for any money, or I'm just looking for advice. In the event that you read this, thank you and have a great day. We did. So first and foremost, I would say self-published, number one. As we talked about yesterday, you're down to, if this thing with Simon & Schuster and Penguin goes through, you're down to four publishers. They're only going to be looking for famous people or Gwyneth Paltrow's kids or somebody like that to do children's books. That is the unfortunate circumstance of not having very many publishers left. On the other side of that, though, it is very cheap to do it on your own. It is very simple to self-publish, and we have a huge group that is out there that has children, myself included. So if you are to do this, you'll be able to get it out pretty quickly, at least to our group of people. And then company-wise, we would recommend probably Scribe Media?
No.
Tucker's company?
No, I would not. Okay. I don't even know if he's with them anymore, but that company is fucking dog shit.
Who would you recommend then for that realm?
Fuck if I know.
Okay.
I have no idea. But you can find a self-publisher that offers a la carte services. Like you can typically for books, you can get them printed for like $3 to $4 a book now.
Yeah, it's cheap, but as far as helping you put it together, now the reason I can't answer this for you, and I reached back out yesterday, is I do it myself. So I write on my own, and I have for years, obviously. If you are new to this, look for an illustrator. There's a ton in this group. There's great ones in this group, illustration-wise, especially for a children's book. And then an editor on a children's book is pretty easy because usually the words are pretty simplistic for children to understand. And I think you and some family members will actually be able to do that on your own. And then if memory serves me correct, Rocco wrote a couple children's books that are on Amazon.
Burt Kuntz did as well. If you want to DM Burt Kuntz, he wrote one like something moose or some bullshit. I don't know what it was. But it was his were very well illustrated as well.
Yeah.
If you're looking for that.
So they've done it and they had some success with it. Going worldwide and trying to be a bestseller and all that stuff. Look, nobody's ever cracked the code on that.
Well, that's like trying to fucking
create a video that goes viral or something like that.
I would say
you just never know.
I would say it's more like trying to create a fucking network television show that's really good, because one, it's hard to create the content that's actually really good because you don't know necessarily how people are going to receive it, but then there's all the institutional bullshit that you have to navigate. Like, I would not go to a publisher at all.
I wouldn't either. Not at this stage, because what they're going to do is rip through your social media, and if you don't have a gajillion followers, they're not going to give you an advance anyways. So,
and then even when you get to the process of producing the material, they're going to fucking try to take every single thing out of it.
Yes.
Like you don't need to do that anymore. You can in the same way that you can start an at-home business using stamps.com and like fucking Etsy or Amazon, you can do the same thing with publishing now.
Yes. And to this point, yesterday, I mean, maybe 15 minutes afterwards, because you get the rights back to these books from your publisher. So yesterday, I just got the rights back to At Night She Cries While He Rides His Steed from Simon & Schuster. Now, with that, the reason I'm saying this is looking at the publishing world for audiobooks, for example, because my wife and I are putting up the audiobook. Now that I own the rights back to it, you get 40% from Audible, which is acx.com. So if you're out there and want to create an Audible book, you get 40% from them versus 10% from a publisher. So that is a difference of 30 fucking percent. Now, I still think Amazon is taking too much fucking money on that, but it is what it is. They're the only game in town, and 40% they're going to want worldwide rights and all that stuff. Yes, do that because they're able to get it out to more avenues. I've used them before. It is safe, effective, and easy, and all those payments will go into your bank account at the end of every month. They're very, very good at that. Whereas a publisher, you're lucky to see residuals twice a year, and then you usually have to call. It's a pain in the ass, and you're only getting 10% of your audio and about 15 to 20% of your hardbacks versus if you do it on your own. So I hope I answered your question, and cheers.
Yeah, and I've got one question for that person as well. The phrasing of the post was weird. So it says, my wife is trying to write a small children's book. How small are these kids?
Maybe they're one. Maybe they're 6 months.
Are
you thinking they're midgets?
Size, yeah.
Ah, gotcha. Little LPs.
Although,
huh?
yeah. But
Yeah.
it's weird because it's like even an LP is a normal baby shape. It just doesn't get bigger.
Right.
But what I'm thinking is like a just little tiny one. And then I don't know.
Did you see the video I posted yesterday?
Is it on that post?
No, Bob. I'm gonna send this to you. Could you blast it up on screen?
Did you post it?
I posted it on my Instagram, but it's on stories. So let me just text it to you real quick.
I'm enjoying this fume, by the way. I'm not using it to quit smoking. It just tastes really good.
It's great. They're a new sponsor here on the program. They'll be coming up here in a couple weeks. I just got mine as well.
There's a bunch right here.
Yeah, tons. When they come up, we'll use it on the show and everything else because you actually pack shit in there, which is crazy.
Yeah,
that's dope, dude. I'm excited about it. I've seen my wife using these a few times, and I'm amped about it.
It makes me think of Indian in the Cupboard. That's what I was thinking about. Remember that fucking book?
Yeah,
from back in
the little Indian. In
Somebody said, Greg LaMontagne said G.I. Joe size. Wouldn't that be funny if your kid was like the size of this goddamn bottle right here, and you just had to deal with that bullshit all the time? I think that would be a lot funner. I would definitely have some kids if they just stayed that size.
Yeah,
but that's like pathological with me. I've got all these. The only thing that I really want in life is to have like a hippo that's this big,
a mini hippo,
a giraffe that's like the size of a fucking.
You'll get there.
Well, we'll see.
Technology will get there for sure.
I wouldn't sell out to China for money, but if they can give me one of those, then I'll renounce my American citizenship for that. If you give me a hippo that's the size of like a Boston Terrier, what do you
want? 20, 25 pounds?
I need a couple. Yeah, like 20 pounds, maybe 25.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll fucking. We'll see what happens. What are you looking at here?
All right, you got the video, Bob? The volume is key here, so make sure the volume is on in this video. This is when you could say shit like this. Go ahead.
The Bulldogs.
Yale Bulldogs.
Oh, wow.
Not so fast, midget. Not so fast. Midget? Yeah, little guy. Hey, not so fast. I go with Harvard. What's the matter?
Herb Street just losing his shit there. Yeah. Oh,
that's
God bless it.
That's not even that long ago. The Cryon that's like 2013, 2015. Like that's not, I recognize that. That's kind of new.
This is what I was talking about earlier. Like, I'm not going to change. Corso's not going to change. Who fucking cares? It's all in good fun. College football is what? Shit. The first week of games is 24 days away.
Yeah, week 0.
God damn it. The week 0 games, we're gambling on that. Junky shit.
Corso gets a pass, though.
Goddamn right he does.
Like, I don't know that there's, other than the N-word, he probably can't get fired.
No, not at this
point.
point.
What is he, like 83 years old or something?
The crazy thing is, too, because you and I go to all these games, we usually have, like, field passes. He will walk the sidelines the entire game just as a workout.
Yeah, it's like he's wearing a whoop. He's just trying to get his steps in or something.
Yeah, dude.
Like he's going to get whipped at home if he doesn't. And he's also wearing nice jeans.
Very nice jeans.
Yeah.
And sneakers. But he's always walking back and forth.
God, he's 86. Fuck.
Is he really? Damn,
he's been married since 1956. My dad was born in 1955.
Wow, dude. Holy shit. That's crazy. Shout out to Corso.
I mean, you don't need to be single for long when you're teammates with Burt Reynolds and running through that muff.
Was he on the same team?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yeah, they were in prison together and they...
Yeah.
Is that not right?
No, it's a different movie. The two of them played on the same team?
Yeah, hold on.
Son of a bitch, dude. We had a couple encounters with Burt Reynolds. He was great.
Yeah,
He's exactly what you hoped.
He cornered me in an elevator one time and made me brush his mustache for 45 minutes.
He like cried.
I didn't know what I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know what the crime was to report, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you say? He didn't cry about what?
No, I said when Burt Reynolds died, Lee Corso was like crying on air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
I mean, what's gonna happen when Al Gore dies? Is fucking Tommy Lee Jones gonna cry?
Maybe.
'Cause they were roommates in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe. We tried to get Burt Reynolds for Range 15 at one point, and his agent said he had some health issues.
Yeah, it's like, so you have to pay, I think his daily is $50,000, but then the mustache is an extra $25,000.
It is, yeah.
And you can't, like, I'm not going to get him without the mustache. It's
No, and it would have been worth it to have Burt Reynolds in the movie.
And the mustache. And the mustache also has a different agent than he does. It's fucking stupid, man.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. He's dead, but I don't know.
I saw him on the sidelines of God, how long ago was that? Did he go to Florida State? Was that it? I think it was Florida State.
Did this man?
It was Florida. Yeah, goddamn right.
Did this man go to
Look
Florida
at
State?
that, dude. It was Florida State versus North Carolina.
I don't know. He's old enough to have that because he took it from actual Indians as well. So it's hard to say.
It was Florida State versus North Carolina. They were both ranked in the top 5. Like Carolina had like some freak good year. And they were both in top 5. It was a night game, everything else. Tickets were crazy expensive. I was a kid, and we ended up sneaking in. I saw Burt Reynolds, and I was like, God damn. I said something to the effect of like, God damn it. I bet you got all the pussy, didn't you? And he turned and he heard it and he goes, God damn right I did. And it was just classic Burt Reynolds. We're like, yo, dude, let's do it. And the other bizarre thing about him, an unknown fact, is he was always blowing through cash. See, I mean, he spent all of it.
It might be. That doesn't strike me as bizarre.
Well, here's where it gets bizarre. So he loved this house that he lived in I think it was Florida. And it was beautiful. It was on the water, everything else. Like it's the house that you think Burt Reynolds would live in, right? And he didn't want to give up this house. And his next door neighbor was a huge Burt Reynolds fan and wanted to continue the whole shit. And he goes, God damn it, Burt, keep blowing all your money on cars and jets and all that other shit. And he goes, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to lose my house. And he goes, I tell you what, man, I just want you to be my neighbor and I love you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy your house. And then when you die, the house goes to me and you can keep partying and spending money and doing all the fucking cool Burt Reynolds shit. And that's what happened. So the guy that lived next to him now owns his house.
Is he pretending to be Burt Reynolds? Because that's what I would do.
I would too, man.
You should at least get like an extra weekend with his corpse.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think he probably went over to the house and picked off the best memorabilia that was still there and then was like, all right, we'll sell the house.
100%.
Yeah. The only similar story was Hugh Hefner. The guy that lived next to Hugh Hefner bought his place too. And it was the same thing. It was like, hey, when you die, I'm just going to bulldoze this place.
Do you think he got all the videos of Hugh making women suck dogs' dicks? Or
I'm not sure because I heard that place was wired. Yeah, pretty.
Yeah, I mean, if like... it's really funny. The last 10 or 15 years of his life, everybody tried to kind of make Hugh seem like, oh, that's just Hugh.
Sweet old Hugh.
But it turns out he was butt raping people and basically keeping women hostage and making them suck dogs' dicks.
They knew. The women knew.
I don't know if
They
the
did.
dog dick stuff was advertised.
That wasn't in the brochure.
No.
Yeah.
And it's like in super small print. And every now and again, you got to suck a dog dick.
Now the dog dick shit I never heard, so I can't speak on that. The ass sex thing, 100%. Like he was super into anal, and then they used to sneak the girls in and out. But homegirls said you knew what you were signing up for. Like there was a bunch of them that were like, we knew what we were signing up for. Like and if we wanted to leave, we could. But once you left, you could never come back.
It's sexual feudalism. So if you got caught doing too well, you couldn't take any outside endorsements, right?
Right.
You couldn't get paid for anything else. And if you saved any of the $15,000 a month he gave you, then you got kicked out.
Right.
That's slavery with extra steps.
I mean, that sounds like playing college football before 2 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much, which is slavery with extra steps.
Yes.
And then real quick here, before we get off the air, there was one comment that was going around yesterday. Was Chris on that show on Rogan yesterday? Williamson?
Yeah, Williamson was on, today.
Today, okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your thoughts on this because it's super weird and out of left field, and I hadn't heard this. Joe Rogan says he thinks Jeffrey Epstein may have been an agent in either the CIA or Israel's Mossad?
Sure. Let me clarify that for you right now. So, somebody that's hired by the agency is called an officer, not an agent.
Okay.
And somebody who they flip or use as an asset is called an agent.
Okay.
And people don't know that. So when you say somebody like Epstein was an agent, then probably, yeah, I'm sure they were paying him for information. Why wouldn't they be?
Gotcha.
He's a powerful man with powerful friends.
But didn't they know what was going on?
Like all
is the question.
of oil and gas, for the entirety of oil and gas throughout the history of this country up until relatively recently, were fucking agency assets.
Okay.
That's how fucking HW got into it in the first place, because Prescott was fucking an agency asset.
So
from OSS forward.
If this is true, just thinking about it in hindsight, then does this mean it was probably through Clinton? One would imagine.
It would have been before that. It would have been in the 80s probably, when they would have developed him as an asset.
Okay, gotcha. And
Like
then
you
they would have had to have known about the young girls, right?
100%.
Okay, good.
Yep.
That was where I was going with
this. They definitely knew about it, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't listen to the show. Whitney Cummings was the guest yesterday during this, so I'm sure she had fun with that.
She always does. She was on Bobby's podcast the other day too. It was
Bobby Lee?
Oh God, it was so fucking funny. God, what the fuck were they? I can't remember. I was high as shit, but she had me, or it was her. She was playing the street man and asking Bobby questions, and he was like, I don't even know what that is. It was really funny.
That's funny.
Do you guys watch that? Do you watch
Bobby Lee? Bobby Lee crushes. Everybody says he's the funniest dude there is.
He's really. That's one of my. That might be my favorite show right now.
I think
actually.
Jesse said the same thing.
Yeah,
no, that's hers too.
He's so goddamn funny.
Yeah. What happened with him and his lady? They still together? Is she
no
still on
idea.
it? Okay.
I don't know.
Because that was a big thing for a while.
I don't really follow any of that.
Because when Callan was here, they were like, "Hey, why didn't you ask about it?" And I was like, "Man, I don't fucking follow people's personal lives." Like, because everybody in the when you're ranked in the same, it's pretty much like 50 of us who are all in a row. We've all been on each other's shows and vice versa and all that other shit, or guests and everything else. And they're like, "Oh, hey, do you keep up with their personal lives?" I was like, "No, I sure don't, dude. I got other shit to do. I got fucking 3 kids, bro. I don't have time for that." So I don't know what happened to them, but we had some listeners asking why we didn't ask about the
well,
girl.
it's because I don't give a shit.
Me too. And that's the same thing.
I don't care.
I
don't care
either.
what Brendan Schaub is doing in
Me
his
neither.
free time.
Nope.
Like
not my business.
I don't watch Tiger Belly to find out stuff like that. I watch
neither.
it because the dude is fucking funny at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if Bobby started doing fucked up shit that I thought was unethical, I wouldn't watch it anymore, but that's not the case.
Sure.
So I don't care.
Yeah, me neither. And that's why we didn't ask the question, is because we don't care. But we love you guys, and we appreciate the support every single day. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a review. That is all the advertisers care about. And go to Spotify and leave a quick review. It is importante in Spanish, again, because that's all they fucking care about. And then subscribe to the Patreon, Drinkin' Bros Podcast Patreon. Everybody's saying it's like the Adult Swim version of the YouTube shows. That's true. You're going to see some super fucked up shit on there. And we actually have like 4 shows that run throughout the week on there. We have a lot of fucking content on Patreon. I was shocked by it. So subscribe to Patreon. It gets fun and weird over there. Tonight is Crime Corner. So enjoy yourselves tonight on Patreon. In the meantime, thanks for joining us. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros Podcast.